Yeah, that's right. How you guys doing today? That's right. I know that I promised you yesterday that we would continue our musical series as we go through all the genres. There's generics and stuff, right? That people live in and stuff, and they work around and stuff every goddamn day.
His wife's pussy and kick his ass. Eating pussy and kicking ass. Eating pussy and kicking ass.
Yeah, that reminds me right now. I missed breakfast this morning, but it's not really no problem and stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? Here we are right now and stuff, and a lot of times and stuff, people, this whole last week and stuff has been like really, really crazy for me and stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? I was reminiscing on the Beyonce album, which of course I've never listened to, but I was reminiscing on it and stuff because it's not the very first time that a black person has ever done country before in her life or his life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's Charlie Pride. That's right, the pride of the South. Yeah, we want to investigate. We want to really know what happened to Mr. Pride. I'm not sure if he has died or passed away or, whatever. Worse, in some kind of cryogenic temperature chamber and stuff, waiting to come back alive when they figure it out. All we know is we love Charlie. And we don't really, it's like, people like that, they kind of go under the radar. You know what I'm saying? It's like one day he's there, you know what I'm saying, making country music records, smiling and waving to the crowd and stuff like that, because this is the kind of stuff the country people are used to doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, hey, you prove me wrong. Listen, if you can go out right now, you can go out right now, and you can, you go over here and stuff like that and stuff, right? And, just say there's a little award show, like the one Beyonce won for country music. Okay, let's say there's a little award show, right? Now, let's say if you tune into the Grammys, right? The Grammys or American Music or even like the Billboard. Guess what's going to happen? You're probably going to get like, a whole lot of commercials and stuff. They'll announce who the winner is. But everybody, there'll be like 3 acts. But now at the CMA, when you get to the CMA Awards, god damn it, everybody on the chart gets to sing their song that night. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Jesus Christ. Most of the time and stuff, and it's like, and, I guess that's really cool and it's family like. You know what I'm saying? But I guarantee you, I'm wondering if they're gonna invite Beyonce to sing her little hit song next year. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm aware of the fact. Shit, look. Beyonce's probably thinking about Charlie Pride too. You know what I'm saying? She's like, she probably is really. Listen, you guys, I'm telling you, the whole thing is really probably just, and I shouldn't let the cat out of the bag. She's probably trying to find out where Charlie's at too. But listen, we're not going to worry that because I know with a name like Pride, how could you come up missing or whatever? I'd be like, where's my pride? You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So at the same time, but that's the difference between like a country music, between a country music award show and, say like your regular basic rock and roll show. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might get like, even if it's like somebody like, Jesus Christ. There we go back to, in the years, like way back when Metallica got their Grammy. Yeah, they did get a Grammy and, and everything and stuff, right? And, I'm glad that they did because it introduced the world to a whole new type of music. Right, and everything and stuff, right? But we're not talking about Metallica, fuck them. What we're talking about right now is we're talking about country music and stuff, right? And I know that they do a little country on the side just like me, right? Because, look at me. Most of you guys that see me walking down the street, yeah, he does punk rock. I'm like, yeah, you're right, and I just keep walking. You know what I'm saying? And, there's somebody might pass by, and they say, oh, yeah, he does heavy metal. I'm like, yeah, that's right, I'm me, and I just keep on walking. But then there's other people, there's other times, where I might be in a love mood. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like Pat Boone. You know what I'm saying? He comes out, he says, hey, look, I'm in the metal mood tonight. Yeah, that's kind of the kind of mood I get in sometimes. I'm in the mood for love or something and stuff, and I write a love song. It's not unheard of. I even got me a country song. I got me a couple of country songs. I got me a couple of them. That's right. That's right. I got me more than a couple of country songs under my belt. Is there, you can call them a notch, or you can call it a motherfucking bottle of scotch. It don't make no motherfucking difference. You're gonna be able to do both while you're listening to it. Even put another notch on your gun or drink another bottle of scotch. It's nothing. Listen, at the same time, that's right. At the same fucking time, you might see, I'm starting to make a little foray into well, that's the difference between black country musicians and white country musicians. We use big words and we know what they mean. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, you can sit back, the epitome of any situation and stuff would be like, okay, let's look, we get to the Tantamount, this is the very top of the heap. Charlie Pride, just on his name alone, you would think, here it is, gentlemen, that's me. And, he's like, Charlie, can we take your picture? This is your first top 10 hit selling single as a country selling artist. He's like, oh, yeah, I could, yeah, and they take a picture. Something's wrong. Charlie's picture doesn't come out like a vampire. Now they begin their little investigation. And I'm like, fuck you. Because first of all, mister, let me tell you something. Dracula was a member of the government. He was a count. And you guys don't know what you guys are talking about. So at the same time and stuff, that's the kind of thing that can occur, to a black country artist. It's not really different. Nothing different, It's not too different. And plus, you get the perk. You'll get the perk of like at the next award show, even if you put out 2 singles this year, they might let you sing both of them. Because everybody in the audience gets up and, and gets to sing a song, The one irritating thing to me that is about country music, since I do country too, that's right. I've been known to, kick up a little dirt, kick a little mud in the air and stuff, right? Get it in somebody's eye and keep on walking. Right? That's me. You know what I'm saying? So look, here it is me. I sit back and I say, okay, here's a fact. Here's a fact. Right? Here's a fact. And here's a clue. What the hell is this? Listen, at the same time, most of the time people are going to sit back and they're going to ask you like, oh, I'm sure people want to ask me when I'm walking down the street. They say, well, what makes you so country? At that point in time and stuff, right? I'm usually forced to think. And, I think back to my dear mama. You know what I'm saying? And why would I? Why wouldn't I be country? I wasn't raised on a ranch or anything like that. Well, I was, but that was later years. But I'm talking about at first, at my mama's house. At my mama's house, we had chickens. Shucks. You know what I'm saying? We had chickens, and then we had all kind of stuff. Every fruit tree that you could possibly imagine. It was like kind of living in a fucking garden of goddamn Eden. But at the same time, my mother being the resourceful person that she is, that's right. To sit there, we got plum preserves, we got apricot jam, we got motherfucking peach and, whatever. And there's some okra growing on the ground over there. It's really nothing if you sit back and think about it, proving to the fact to this day that yes, I can do country too. Right? You won't always see me in this mode though, because even when I do country, I come through like the black flag. You know what I'm saying? The black plague, you know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody to get no copyright infringement or anything like that. I don't know Henry yet, but I know that he would probably be sitting there, he would be like, oh, he thinks he can just go ahead, yeah. He's probably appreciating, oh yeah, because he's going to be surprised though. Henry Rollins would be surprised, because he's going to be like, well, God damn it. I just seen him do this little thing about the punk rock band, and now I'm finding out that he does country too. That's right. So at the same time, I'm just sitting back and I'm saying, being the resourceful person that I am as far as my guitar is concerned, most of these people and stuff, they're cool. Really. You know what I'm saying? In all actuality, I'm more interested in, I sit back and I sit around my friend. We'd be like, Billy Jack, you would put that ice chest back. You know what I'm saying? Because, if you're like hanging out, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. They think that just because I'm black, I don't know what a hoedown is. Nigga, if she broke, nigga, that's her motherfucking problem. I don't give a fuck about that. I'm trying to make my money. You know what I'm saying? You guys is the ones sitting there talking about just a country hoedown. Really, in all actuality, I'm about to come through. and let you know that if that hold down and shit, nigga, we about to pick it back up. It's only right. That's right. It's only right. So, you know, and I know that there's several people overseas and stuff too that are in the country music and stuff, right? You know, and have been for a long time. But a lot of these things fly right over the people that, you know, the Americans' ears, you know what I'm saying? You know, really all they hear, you know, is like money, cash a check, you know, anything that has to do with a monetary dividend or whatever and stuff, right? And, you know, like lots of times and stuff, look, I'm sure that in the end, I remember Ab Scam, I have a strange sneaking suspicion. You know, because if I was around at the time, so if I was only a little whooper, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if there was a big giant investigation going on inside the White House, you know, the whole country should know about it. And I thought that at that time, even when as a young whooper, I said I should make me a song about it. You know, Ab Scam. You know, you got Ab Scam. It would have went down, you know? It would have went down. You know, because I would, you know, as a child, it had been bigger than Michael. You think about it. A little black child singing about Ab Scam in a country form. That's right. So at the same time, you're sitting back and you're saying, okay, lots of people say Ab Scam ain't real. It was. It happened. You know, they had undercover people in the White House. You know, hey, you want this money? Yeah, go on, son, put the cuffs on. Now the president be a letter one. you know, some secondary defense. Some people got caught. You shouldn't take bribes. That's real, and that was a lesson for you. You know, if you take a bribe, you might as well take a bribe, and that's stupid too. So here we go. You know what I'm saying? These are people, stupid people on the outside, stupid people on the inside. They eventually call up with them. So, you know, if I were, you know, me being the resourceful entrepreneur that I am, as a child even, Jesus Christ, you know, I mean, think about it. You know, here we are, I'm sitting under a fruit tree, fuck gravity, you know, and Sir Isaac knew that if a fucking apple falls on my head, I'm gonna get fucking mad and shit and smash it. What the fuck I give a care about the motherfucking law of physics? Imagine that, sitting under an apple tree, have an apple fall on your head. And you start thinking about gravity, that's fucking stupid. But it happened and it's real and it happened in America. You know, the land of the motherfucking free. That's right. If you're not black, that's right, we go to jail. But it's different now because now we're sitting back and we're able, and I'm proud of Beyonce. I'm proud of Baby. That's right. I'm proud of Baby. You know, because look, if you want to make a motherfucking country album, bitch, go ahead and make your motherfucking album and shit. That's how I would look at it. I'm kind of like the Black George Jones. You know, I don't want to talk about it no more. You know, I've had it. I've had it up to you. If you're gonna make your goddamn album, go make your album. Yeah, that's right. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a bad motherfucker to take care of Dolly. You know, shit. They're still floating. And I guarantee you right now. You know, George Jones, he was probably like that Steel Mine. He just turned over in his internet. Oh yeah, bitch. What the fuck do you think I am? Yeah, I made just for you. That's right, I was. Get your ass back. Yeah, you know, so if Beyonce would have came to me at that time and said, hey, you know what, hey, check it out, Ken. I'd be like, yeah, what's up? What's up, baby? You know. I'm thinking about a country album. Which one? I got a couple of them. No, I want to make me my own country album. And I'd be like, well, you got lyrics? I mean, you got something that country people want to hear about, you know? Because most of the time, I'm knowing they're going to be like, fuck you, Lee, and this gold and shit. We want the real shit, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, shit. She's like, I got country, baby. I said, well, come on, let's go. Right? But I really feel, right, you know, that, you know, if you start talking about country music, then you better be able to walk the walk, talk the talk, and spit that spat. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the fact that these are the things that a country hold-down motherfucker is about to go down with. Think about it. You know, just think about it for a minute. You know, you're going to sit there, you're going to tell me The Black George Jones. That's right, because I've been pimping since I was born, nigga. That's right. You know, the doctor slapped me on my ass. I was like, what the fuck are you doing, nigga? That part. So listen, you know, I was pimped out, came through the door. Shit, that part. You know? Yeah. So anyway, look, you gonna tell me that I don't know? That I don't know? Shit, I can rope a cow. And I sure can ride a horse. That's right. But we're not talking about bands here right now. We're talking about her music. So she comes over here, she tells me that she wants to make an album. I said, well, that's cool. You know? That's right. You know, I take her into the studio. I'd be like, all right, from the top, baby, I'm not home anymore. You know, or say whatever and stuff, because that's a country title. You know, I can, even though I just picked that shit out of the air like that, I can make a song to it right now. I'm not home anymore. If you're knocking my door, you better be hoping that it open. Cause I'm not home anymore. You know, it's just a little tune I make about, you know, if I gotta go run an errand downtown or something. It's like leaving a message on the answer machine, that's right. So listen, so getting back to Beyonce and her album, so right, you know, I don't know how it was produced. There's several albums in the past that I have yet to listen to. I haven't listened to Lady Gaga little bullshit, her and that Brad dude. You know, it's called Shallow. I know, I haven't heard it. It's probably as deep as a wading pool, but you know, it's not for me to judge. It's not, because well, listen, hey, well, listen, yeah, because she gonna be mad. She gonna be like, who the fuck are you? And I'll be like, well, you know, you just gotta check my channel, bitch. You know, now it's deep. Most motherfuckers ain't into the game and shit, right? You know, they got problems. You know, they got problems. You know, maybe Ice Cube would come at your father. You'd be like, hey, wait, mister. You know, hey, you know, you do whatever. You know. Yeah, okay, call my lawyer. Man, get in my car and drive away. You know, that's really nothing. But at the same time, it's like me entering the game, you know, and I got a woman after me already because I've already made several statements about Lady Gaga, little bullshit-ass record, fucking Bad Romance. That shit ain't worthy of a goddamn Grammy. Jesus Christ, think about it. That's right. I still try to figure it out. I'm like, how the fuck did you guys get a motherfucking Grammy for that bullshit? And I've been trying to write a top 10 hit-selling single for a long goddamn time now. And I've yet to succeed because of shit like that getting through the Academy. But anyway, that's another story for another goddamn day, probably tomorrow. But listen, at the same time, what I'm telling you is this. Never, ever, ever, ever think for a minute that just because a black woman, a beautiful black woman, look, I mean, look at her. I seen the little video. I haven't heard the songs yet. You know, I think that's really what's going on. She might, well, I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies that are around. I heard that, this is what I heard. And I want you guys to Google it or find, like, and see if it's true or not, because I really do not know. But this is what I heard. That at the time when Kanye went up there and interrupted a little, what's her name, Taylor, yeah, that's right. You know, when he got up on the stage and tried to cut her off during her, you know, whatever and stuff, right? You know, supposedly they were having an affair. That's right. This is what I heard. So it might have been like, you know, and that was Yeezy's way of just saying, hey, look, bitch, we fucking, but they don't know. Hey, you know how niggas be trying to drop shit and shit? Yeah, we came as fast as we could. What's going on? You know, shit like that, right? He want to tell the whole world about it. This is what I know. I don't know if it's true. I do not know. Hey, I don't want to get misquoted on my own goddamn channel. That's right. But this is what I heard. Now, whether it's true or not, hey. You know, Taylor got ass, nigga. I ain't tripping. I'm like, yo, you know, you got your good one. You done good. Right? You know, what a thick ass piece of wood. Nigga, hey, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time and shit, because I seen her. Because you know what? Taylor Swift, she used to be really skinny. She was gangly and shit. You know what I'm saying? Look like that other little spider kid. You know what I'm saying? And shit, they held to her tall arms on, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know, whatever. But she grew into it. I mean, look at it. You know, she fucking with that football motherfucker if she ain't left him yet. whatever and shit. That's her life. If it's her life, that is her life. She can do whatever the fuck she wants to do with it. If she wants to use her life to make a country music career, I say kudos to her. That's right. That's right. You know, as everybody goes under a microscope, we all get checked. If you got a life, if you got a life and you want to dedicate your life to you know, making, see, there's really only two types of music in the world, country and jazz. If you sit back and you want to sit back and you say it like that, you say, oh, okay, look it, okay, that's right. If you want to sit back and you got yourself a life, it's your life, Missy. That is your life. You can do whatever the hell you want to do it. If you want to make country music albums, it's your life. You go ahead and you do it. God damn it to hell. All over again. You know, and so, like I say, you know, I can't really call it. I don't know that. But that would be, yeah, that would be like snitching. Because I know a secret or two. But I probably won't reveal them until I'm making my way up the stage to get my award, my little country award, my country music album. Because as soon as the ladies start, I don't remember which one. It wasn't Miranda. Miranda's a gangster. I like Miranda. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you that straight up. Those guys, they listen. All I know is this. You know, there's really nothing. And you can't talk about it. You cannot talk about it. That's right. I say you can't talk about it. Just like Joe Perry. He does rock and roll. But I say if there's a man that wants to fucking import delicious fucking dipping sauce for your barbecue around the world for everybody to enjoy, you should let him. At the same time, you know, it's like, you know, but Miranda, I know it wasn't Miranda. One of them bitches, though. Probably that girl from the Perry Project or something like that. She was like this. They were like, well, I think it's a slap in the face to give Beyonce the #1 album for country. I'm like, why? It's a country album. You know what I'm saying? Is it in the running? I mean, you know, what's going on? At that time, I began to realize that being the joker that I am, that's right. I said, if they tripping off you, baby, just wait till I get there. You know, they going to be like, God damn, that's right, because I don't give a fuck before I'm fuck. I was raised that way. So listen, at the same time, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So, you know, so on top of the ongoing investigation as to what really happened to Mr. Charlie Pride, if you say so, listen, mister, you know, on top of the investigation of, you know, because I haven't heard from Charlie in a long time. That's right. You know, and think about it. You know, most of these people, they're unaware. They're unaware. You know, they're unaware. Suppose he signed a contract with an offshore account. Somebody, you know, one of the Middle Eastern fellas or something like that. Because in America, I think I would say, like, so you got yourself a little plot. Now on CBS, you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people and shit were like that. But, you know, so on top of the ongoing investigation, that, you know, like I said, this is unofficial. Don't clock me on this. You know, I know they once they hear, they're going to be like, what really happened to Charlie? You know? Dad, how could you? Or whatever. And shit, dude, listen, check this out. Most of the time, people, I just have to stop by and let you know that if you're walking down the street and you're feeling country, look at them boots. If you're feeling country, you just go ahead and show it and shit. You know, throw your hands up in the air or something like that. That's right, bitch. Keep on walking. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, the stuff is either way it's gonna go down. You know, don't let nobody tell you that you can't do no country music, baby. You know, if you're gonna do country music, go ahead and do country music. You know, you can have a banjo if you want to. That's right. You can have your own banjo. When you grow up, you'll be able to sit back. You'll be able to say, "It's mine. It's all mine," and that's true, son. It's so goddamn true. If you want to have you a little banjo, go ahead and make one. You know, if you want to do country, suppose you do cowpunk. That exists. I dabble in it myself sometimes. It's really nothing. But you can do whatever you want to because you are still in the U.S. of A. United States of A. Assholes is what I like to say, but I live here, so I love it. And you know what? You know, imagine me going to Brazil, something like that, and just be like, looking around and just be like, no, you guys are crazy here. You know, I'm going back to USA. Yeah, right, because that could happen. You know, it's really nothing. But in the USA, you know, but they never lie to you. They don't lie to you here. They don't never. That was a short oversight. The very first document that sealed this country and holds the whole country together. The Constitution of the United States of A. That's right. All men should be born free. That's right. It's a beautiful document. All men should be born free, and in the course of human events, you can see this, and it's a great document. But you know, it was just an oversight that we weren't really set free till 15 presidents later. They kind of probably just put it over to the side, and when Lincoln came in, it was like, oh yeah, these guys are supposed to be free. Okay, well, they wrote it in there. But this is a document that holds the whole country together, and I love it. Nobody really lied to you. They just probably, it was an oversight. That's all it was, like an overbite on a bitch. It don't matter if she's sucking your shit. You know, it might hurt a little bit, but it ain't nothing. Think about it. So anyway, that's me. It's me, Kane. That's right. One more time. That's right. To let you know that, hey, you know, there's people that will, you know, everybody's going to hate you for something. You know, whether you're able to do this, whether you're able to do that and stuff. You know, it's jealousy. You know, it's jealousy. Somebody's always going to hate you for something that you're able to do that they can't. You know, that's not your fault. Think about it, mister. Just think about it. Yeah, you know, some kids like to yo-yo. That's not their problem. They know how to do it good. Walking the dog, Daddy, look, I'm walking the dog. And it's going, and you got the triangle and shit. It's not very interesting, but that's his hobby. And you should take interest in it. If he wants to do country music and start playing a motherfucking guitar, you know, it's his motherfucking business. That is his business, you know. That's mine, you know. And, you know, mind your own business, Dad, and pass the fucking Cheerios. Besides that, you know, most of the time and stuff, people are going to sit there and they're going to say, like, you know, what if, like, in 20 years in the future, they say, you know, we didn't even have a future until little Joey came and he decided to start him a country band. Look at us now. You know, like that American Idol ass bullshit. You know, of course, this is what it comes down to. This is how we get a record contract in America. You join the contest. That's right. Now, follow me closely. Follow me closely. You get it. This is how you get your contract for the people who don't know. In the United States of A, shit. Well, you know, they got a little program. They got two of them. America's Got Talent, and you're like, where? You know, you got the first wrong. And then you got the second program, which is called American Idol. All right? We've evolved. This is how you get a record contract in the United States of A. That's what I like to say. But listen, you get on stage, you sing Midnight Train to Georgia for like 3 minutes, and then people calling and voting on you. But here's the last part. If you're going to do this, you got to remember to draw that last note out. Midnight Train to Georgia. And that's going to make them go crazy if you can hold that shit for like 30 seconds or so. You're going to win. And pretty soon you'll get yourself a little contract just like that. But anyway, it's Kane, and I just thought I'd drop by and let you guys know that it's all gravy. There's a little bit of chicken involved in this shit, but it's all gravy. Peace out, man. And goddamn, hey, check it out. Fuck you, bitch.